This is really awkward. The second I press record, I'm like, everything's gone.
Hello? You introduce me and I'll just say a little hi.
Yeah.
Because you know how to do you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So today we've got a little special guest. This is Kira. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I think I vlogged with you last time when I first met you. So I'll link it down below if I remember, which I probably won't. Today we thought we'd do a little uni video, seeing as the uni academic year has just begun. I wanted to do a video that I thought I'd want when I'm first starting uni.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the moment I'm doing my masters, but when I proper first started uni with my undergrad, I wanted a video with loads of advice and stuff. So hopefully we can give people a video like that. Yeah. So just for a little bit of context, guys, I thought we'd do segments. So we're gonna split this video up into the first year, second year, third year, not first year again. God, no, don't want to do that again.
Absolutely not.
And then a postgraduate thing to end with. So let's get into it. So first year. I've got a notes page on my phone, guys, so if you keep looking down, then that is why. My first pointer is, you and your flatmates will argue about bins, washing up, cleaning the communal areas of your flat. That is one thing. My SD card's got 4 minutes on already. That's great, I've got a spare one, it's fine. You will argue. You said you had a rota, didn't you?
Yeah, so originally we had a rota and I didn't actually end up living in my flat that I was assigned. I lived there for a little while, we made a rota, it did not work. Nobody followed it, no. Everyone had different schedules, everyone was on different courses, and it just did not work. And sometimes you do get put with flatmates that you maybe... How do I explain this? They're not your people. You might not like them. Okay,
Basically,
don't like.
Put it straight.
You might get put with people that you don't really... You kind of agree to disagree. And you might get put with people who aren't very clean. I was a clean person. I wanted it all to be clean. But the second flat that I moved into, oh my God, those bins.
Bad.
Oh my God. It wasn't like these videos you see on TikTok, but stinky. Oh. They were stinky. And to be fair, I'll admit, I was bad. I was like, oh, I'll just leave it. Someone else will do it. Someone else will do it. No one else will do it. Go and take the bins out. Yeah, please go take them out.
Did the same. So our flat was, to be fair, there was a few of us that were clean, but the bins it was always the bins that got the worst. Did have a few mouldy plates in the sink, but that's just standard for uni. But the bins were awful. I think at one point me and my flatmate, we started being really petty and just not doing the bins because no one else was doing them. And I was like, well, we're always doing it, they can do it, but then they never did. So like Kira said, if your bin is full, take it out. Don't start bin wars. Don't be petty, just take them out because it will get disgusting. Different people have different definitions of clean. That is one thing I learned.
So true.
So yeah, just take the bins out, please.
Do it. It will end up smelling.
It's gross. So I feel like there's just no orders to this. I'm just going to blurt it out. Actually, we're not straight. Never mind, hang on. We literally did TV and radio production, guys, and I still can't work a camera. My next thing is, I don't know if you agree with this, it might take a while and you will probably end up in the wrong crowd, but you will eventually find your people. I know in Freshers Week especially, everyone's talking to anyone. You talk to anyone and anything, and
absolutely. You
kind of make friends with people who you're probably not usually friends with, or they're not usually the kind of people in your circle, but eventually you will make friends. Uni's a really weird place because I don't want to get cancelled for saying this, but in school where you have some people and they're a bit loners, basically.
Yes.
They're a bit strange. You know what I mean? Even they will make friends at uni.
I think everyone in uni is in the same position and wants to involve everybody. You do get to a point where you realise that these people aren't for you. In not the first flat that I was in, but the one I moved into due to COVID, that's a whole other story. A lot of people in that flat weren't my type of people. I spoke to them, I got along with them, we had fun, we had laughs, but all the way throughout uni I didn't make a solid friend until after uni. I met Laura and we were on the same course all the way throughout uni, and then
never spoke.
No, never spoke. We didn't even speak a word to each other, not out of spite, we just didn't cross paths. And then afterwards we both realised we were into content creation and just ended up speaking to each other. And I think that's how it can be a lot of the time. I know a few other people that kind of reconnected after uni, whether that was actual relationships or just friendships. But it can be quite hard. I didn't make many friends throughout uni at all. Like I said, I did speak to people. I had people that I conversed with, got the bus home with. But don't be disheartened if you don't kind of find that lifelong friend in uni, because they can always come afterwards.
It's one of them, like, I thought, I don't want to sit here and brag, but I did make quite a few friends at uni.
It's different for everyone.
But I can now count on one hand the amount of people that I still am in contact with. Some people I'm not friends with anymore, or like some people I just haven't spoken to since graduation, and that's fine. Like, you do kind of grow out of friendships, and some are only made for like a certain amount of time. Yeah, you will find your own people, whether that's just for uni or lifelong friends. Like, you will find your people as long as you're yourself. Like I said, you might end up in the wrong crowd for a bit and you might be thinking, oh my god, I'm never going to make friends. You will. I guarantee you'll make like at least one friend. Like, whether that's before or after uni, like you said.
I think, like you said, growing out of relationships and friendships as well is so important, because it's so easy to get disheartened when you leave university and you don't speak to someone that you maybe spent every single night in your room with.
Yeah.
But that happens. Like, look at primary school, look at high school. There is
exactly.
I literally speak to one person from high school because I spoke to her in primary school.
Yeah.
And that's the same with uni. You might speak to them all the way throughout uni. You literally might be like this, and you might end up drifting, and that's totally okay.
That's literally what I experienced. Like, I was friends with a couple of people and we haven't spoken since graduation, and I thought they'd be like lifelong friends. I thought like they were like my best friends at the time, and I've just not spoken to them since. And it's not anything on their behalf or my behalf, it's just we haven't spoken. And there were times, and I still think to this day, like, oh my god, did I ever say something wrong, or like, did they actually just secretly hate me? But I think it's just like when you get older, you just drift. And it is weird because it's almost like, it feels like I went through a breakup.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
It feels like I've got my heart broken because they were literally my best friends, but you just grow apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa, disco!
Party. Right,
The light has just died. The light said, I have no friends. Shut the fuck up. Hopefully you can still see us, guys. My next thing that I had down was about sports and societies. Now, we were just talking about this. I personally thought... So I joined the football team, and it was probably the best thing I did because it gave me something to do every week rather than just stay in my room. It helped me try football, which I'd never grown up playing before, but I've always loved. Just really enjoyed it. I made some friends on the team as well, who then like were my friends throughout the whole course of uni. And also the Wednesday socials are great, but I'll get onto that in a minute. But you never really joined them, did you? So like, what was that like?
It didn't even cross my mind.
Really?
I knew about them, but I don't know if it's because I was in a new relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I wasn't sporty, and a lot of them were sports-based. And I know not all of them are sports-based, but a lot of them were. It wasn't because there wasn't any reason why I didn't want to. I genuinely just didn't want to. And there is kind of that pressure from behind. I didn't really falter to it, but I know a lot of people can falter to that pressure of wanting to join a society or a sports team, and you don't have to. Laura absolutely enjoyed every single part of it. I know that I probably would have joined one and ended up leaving it after a couple of weeks, just because it wasn't my environment, it wasn't my thing,
it just
and that's totally okay.
Person,
Absolutely, yeah.
I know quite a lot of people that didn't even, like I said, didn't even think about joining, and they still enjoyed their time at uni. But I would say, like, if you get through like first year and you're still like umming and ahhing about it, do it. Even if it means that you're leaving like 6 weeks because you don't like it, at least try it if you're thinking about it, because I do think genuinely it's such a good thing to do because you do make a lot of friends. It's not for everyone at all, and I know like with us especially the drinking culture is quite big. So like after every training session we went to the SU and people got a drink, and there wasn't a pressure to get a pint. Like, I got a Coke more or less every time I went, but like on the Wednesday socials, that's when a lot of people drink. Like, you'd get dressed up, you have a theme on every week, and you basically just get pissed every Wednesday. And
it's so exciting, isn't it?
It's
like,
great,
it's really
I loved
exciting.
it. But if you don't drink, for my personal experience, if I didn't drink while I was at uni, I think I would have struggled on the socials.
Yep.
That might have changed now. Obviously, this was like couple of years ago now, which makes me sound like a grandma. But like,
throughout the whole uni experience, like I said, I was in a new relationship. I did stick with my boyfriend quite often, and I think if you do go to uni in a relationship, it's so important to not isolate yourself with that person. Me and my boyfriend were on the same uni course. I'm going on a bit of a tangent, and I feel like people can look at you and kind of be like, oh, I don't want to talk to them, they're in a relationship. But it's so important to separate yourself from that person. Yes, you're in love. Yes, it's new. Yes, you want to be with them all the time. But if you're feeling that pressure to be with the same person and you're not kind of interacting with other people, I think you can get that isolation, and that is why socials and things like that and going to clubs are really important. But if you don't enjoy that type of atmosphere, you shouldn't have to force yourself to be in that situation.
I can't remember what I'm going to say now. It's so weird because like thinking of me in a Wednesday social is so weird because I don't really drink now. Like I am a completely different person to who I was at uni. Like,
Same.
I do not recognise her. That's not me.
I feel like a fetus when I look back on myself at uni, and I'm not saying I'm any adult right now. Like, I am the most childish, immature but mature person you would ever know. But looking back at myself in uni, like, I didn't know anything. Like, but you think
you do though at the time, don't you?
You really do, and you're kind of in that transition between a teenager and an adult. You're just learning, and that's totally okay.
You don't have to be stuck to the people in your flat. So this is backtracking to when we were talking about the flats and stuff. Like, even though you've been put in a flat with like however many other people, for me I think it was 8, you said it was 7, like it's different for a lot of flats. You don't have to be stuck talking to just some people in your flat. Like, I made good friends with people across the flat, and I was literally their adopted flatmate. Like, I went round to those all the time. In COVID, like, you couldn't go into other people's flats, and our flats were opposite, so we'd open the flat doors and just like sit on the floor chatting to each other. Like, it was really nice. And I think it's important to make friends with other flats, because then it's like, if you have an argument with people in your flat, you've always got somewhere else to go, and it's just really nice because you've got another friendship circle there.
Absolutely. I didn't really interact with any other flats, but I think like people on your course and things like that, you do meet people on your course that don't live in the same accommodation as you, because obviously you always have that kind of main accommodation at uni, but it's so important to interact with those people as well.
Go to this one actually, because this again is about flats, and this is just such a silly little tip, but when you move in, leave your door open.
Yeah, everyone always said that. I think it was my friend's mum that gave me that tip. Just leave your door open.
Leave your door open.
Because you'll see people walking by constantly. It's not even like people invite themselves into your room, because no one would do that. But it's kind of like code for, I'm here, I'm going to talk to you.
Come and talk to me. Yeah. Even when you're getting ready, I know in our flat and in our second year house and stuff, when we were all getting ready for like nights out or just like a day trip together, we always had our doors open, because then you can just like walk through, or like you can just go chat to everyone. And it is, like you said, a way of just saying, oh, I'm here, I'm not closed off, I'm here to like make friends with you all and stuff. So that's a very good tip. This one is one that you'll all like to hear. Me personally, I think this is your fun year.
Yes.
Although you are stressed about deadlines because it's your first time at uni, it's your first time doing deadlines and everything like that, they're not that important. Like, all you need to do in first year is pass.
Yes.
That's all you need to do.
First year doesn't count. I'm not saying don't try, but first year does not count towards your final grade. It's only second and third year. It is the year to have fun. I feel like we missed out on that a lot because we were in the height of COVID. But in first year, it is find your people. If you don't find your people, that's totally fine. But find your people, get to know people, interact with literally everyone.
Anyone you say hi to.
Yeah, absolutely. Have fun.
Yeah, literally just have fun. That's my only advice for first year. Make the most of it, have fun, and don't stress too much about the academics of it, because, like I said, it doesn't count for most courses. Right, let's go into second year. The year where it all fucking happens.
Do you know, I can't remember much of second year at all. So like 2021.
Yeah.
2021, 2022, I just don't remember.
Yeah. For me, I can, because it was literally the worst year of my life.
Really? Oh my God.
Firstly, let's talk about the student housing, because that turnaround, crazy. Because like with second year housing, if you guys don't know how it works, when you get to maybe October, November time,
to January, I'd say, is the stressful time.
That's the window that opens for getting your student houses sorted for second year. And obviously, you've only just started in September. You cannot physically make lifelong friends or friends that you really, really want to live with in that short amount of time. So you literally just grasp at straws. The friendship group you have is the friendship group you live with for second year. And to be honest with you, we did it so wrong. We did it really wrong. Like, I don't want to shit talk anyone, because obviously like this is in the past now. But
it happened.
It happened.
Yeah, it happened.
So we moved in with, I think there was like 8 of us in the end. Me and 4 of us from my first year flat, and then some people that we made friends with from another flat. And at first it was all like flowers and it was all really nice, and then we all properly got to know each other, and it just turned into a bit of a shit show. Like, we ended up moving out. Like 3 of us ended up moving out because it was just so shit. We had to find people to take over the tenancy, but it all worked out in the end. But yeah, it was just. Have you seen Fresh Meat?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. If you guys have seen Fresh Meat, we basically lived in that house. Like, it was a shit tip. It was disgusting. It was like an Airbnb, but like, it was horrible. Yeah, the turnaround's crazy, and you do end up in shit shows like that. Like, you can't be expected to find a nice house. And those people, I know some people that had really, really strong friendships with people and had like really nice houses and stuff. I'm forever jealous of that. Like, I'm like, how do you find friends like that and houses like that?
I feel like it's just luck. It's definitely luck. Like, I had such a different situation. Had a house sorted with my boyfriend and 2 other lads, and one of the other lads I literally hadn't spoke to, and then the other lad, it just wouldn't work. It wasn't going to work at all. Then I thought, well, me and my boyfriend had been together, by the time we'd chosen this house, like 5 months.
All right,
and we decided to live together on our own.
That's straight in the deep
end. It was
end.
a leap. And we were so lucky that only a month ago we moved out of that second year flat.
Yeah.
Like you said, it can be so different. I know so many people that lived like 8 of them together, and literally it'd be half and half. They didn't even speak to each other. Like literally not a word.
Yeah, everyone laughs at me when I say this. I literally had knives and forks, washing up liquid, everything in my room. Because I had literally just like a toilet and a sink on our floor. We were on the top floor. And we fell out with the people that are bad that I literally couldn't go down to the kitchen. I was too scared. Like, I just couldn't face it. And it was that gross as well. Like, it was that grim that, like, I just couldn't go down to the kitchen. So second year, guys, is brutal for housing. But it gets better.
Just be wise. Be wise.
Be wise. Be very, very wise. But you know what? Trust your gut, because the second we went for that house viewing, my gut was saying no, get the fuck out of there, but everyone else was like, oh yeah, we'll make it our own, so I moved in with them because obviously I'm gonna, because it was the group that I was living with.
And you feel like, oh my god, I wouldn't have a house if you don't go for it.
Trust your gut. If your gut is like screaming at you when you go to that house viewing, get out of there. Do not live there. Real. They really are. I learned to trust them. That year really tests your friendships with your housemates and everything.
It's when you start to realise.
Third year, so I've got a little Friends reference here. The one where shit gets real, basically. That's all I've got to say about third year. End of video. Done. Shit gets real. So we had a final project to do, and this is a lot of work. I did enjoy it because like you got to create whatever you wanted, basically. And I really liked that freedom of it, but you just need to put your head down.
Start early.
I started
early, and it was the best thing I ever did. I started my final project because I was really undecided on what I wanted to do. I ended up doing it on something like really personal, so it was like quite hard hitting. But I started in the January, and obviously we didn't submit our final project till the May. Some people start earlier, some people start later.
Yeah.
We still got there. I would give you any advice, it would be start early. A lot of people don't, but it would be, even if it's just like starting your portfolio, start it early, I
didn't start that late, but I started later than I wanted to, and I do regret it, so I completely second that. I feel like you'll appreciate this one. The adult schedule is crazy. You will be planning months in advance to meet up with your friends after graduation. Us. This video has been planned for weeks.
Laura messaged me probably about 4 weeks ago. I've just moved house. And when do you fit anything in?
Literally. And it's nothing personal. Like, everyone, it's the same for everyone. Everyone has finished uni and is now working, or they've got, like, they're travelling, or they're moving house. Like, everyone's always got something on now. The adult life, no one prepares you for how busy it's going to get. Your friends don't hate you. They're just busy. Like.
And when you, and not that you choose your friends, but when you end up staying friends with those people, whoever they are, they need to be the kind of friends that are always at arm's length. They're always there. You can be close to them when you want to be, but I feel like high maintenance people are not where you need to be. People that are always like, messaging you, can we do this, can we do this, can we do this? For one, when you're in a relationship, they're your everything. You want to do stuff with them, you both work, you don't see each other that often, maybe you don't live with each other. You need to have time for them, you need to have time for your friends, you need to have time for your parents, you need to have time to chill. Please, I didn't do this last year. Please give yourself time to just, it's okay to have times that are stressful and busy, but give yourself some time for yourself.
Give yourself a day just to do nothing.
Self-care. It's so important for your mental health, physical health. just you.
Well,
it's
it's
so
really most
important.
now.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really, really.
I don't know if what if they can't even hear us. It'll be fine. Graduation. Let's touch on that because you mentioned that earlier. I feel like we've both had different experiences of graduation, but I also found it's like really, really daunting.
I had just started my first ever proper big girl job. So I started work experience in year 2, as we mentioned earlier, and I got a job at that work experience and I worked there right up until June 2023. 3 days before graduation, went into a big girl job, and that job destroyed me. Everyone knows about it. That job destroyed my mental health, and I graduated obviously 3 days after I started that job. I was not in a good way, but I found graduation so daunting. I was like, I didn't know I was in a job that I didn't like at the time, but I'm an anxious person anyways. I'd had kind of January to, I don't know, June, July, just in an anxious state anyways, and I just found it really hard. I didn't make many friends at uni. I found that really hard. I didn't really speak to anyone. It was so lovely when I went on stage and girls cheered for me.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't massively friends with them, I didn't interact with them that much in uni, I still had people cheering for me when I went on stage.
Girls kind of thing. It's quite wholesome.
It was so lovely.
But yeah, graduation, take the day in because it's your last day of uni. Take the day in, but it is quite a daunting one because it's like, oh, this is it now. But just take the day in. That's all I can say. I don't really know how many people will agree with this because like you didn't move home.
No.
You stayed in Manchester, but like I moved home after uni because as much as I really, really wanted to move out, I just knew financially it'd be the best opportunity for me to move home. And it's been the hardest fucking year, I can't lie. Like
It's so hard going back to that though. Like
it's such a test.
I always say, like, I absolutely adore my parents. Like, I loved living at home, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it again. And I think it's just, obviously, I'm in, like, a long-time relationship, and I lived with him from early in uni, but I don't know, I just feel like I couldn't. It's so hard. But when you have to do that, and you have no other choice, that is real. Like, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But people have had to move back home, and it's hard.
It is. It's... I didn't realise how hard it'd be because you literally, like, your independence is just stripped away from you. And it's like, I've just lived by myself for 3 years and now I'm home again. And it's like, oh God, I can't have the stuff that I want in my fridge. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but it literally just feels
real,
like
though.
everything's taken away from you and you're just not independent anymore. And although I'm 22, I literally feel like I'm 17 when I'm at home because it's like, I'm at home. I don't think anyone really talks about that, like how hard it actually is. Like, it's hard on your relationship with your family, it's hard on yourself. Like, I compare myself to literally everyone who hasn't moved home, and I can't lie, I've compared myself to you before. Like,
it's so hard because and I hate saying it, but I feel really lucky with the situation that I'm in. Like, I've just relocated out of Manchester. Like, I've just moved house. I didn't have to move back home. I'm in a long-time relationship and I live with him, which is just mad. We're both in full-time jobs, but that's not everyone. And I feel like when you see that on social media, I do it with other things, but that's not everyone. You might see someone outside, I don't know, someone else across the road, might look at me and think, oh my God, she's got an amazing life, but until like 4 months ago, I was struggling. Even though I had what a lot of other people wanted, I wasn't having a very good time. Like, and I think that's so important. And I think that not comparing yourself to others,
exactly.
You're gonna do it. Everyone does it. You always compare yourself to others. But I think it's so important that, like, just because you're seeing their ideal, like, I wasn't, like, even though I was living in a flat, it was mouldy, it was damp, I was ill all the time.
Nice. And I think that perfectly backs up my next point is, like, you cannot compare yourself to people who don't show like the bigger picture. Like, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, they might be living like a life in Manchester, which for me, like, I'd love to be back in Manchester to give anything, but like, you can't compare yourself to people, like, you can't see the bigger picture of, like, I know people whose parents pay the rent, for example. Like, they might be in this really, really nice flat in like the middle of Manchester, but their parents paying the rent. Mine couldn't do that in a million years. And it's like, you can't compare yourself to people like that who have it all because they don't have it all. The parents are giving that to them, for example. But compare yourself to people that you can't see the bigger picture of because it's like, you don't know what's going on. You can't compare that.
We were at a point like where we basically had no money. Like, we were paying rent. We lived, we could pay for the roof over our heads and we could pay for food, but we just sat and did nothing all the time because we didn't have anything. And everyone no matter what situation they're in, whether you're living in a mansion or in a cardboard box behind Asda, everyone is going to strive for something. Even if you live in a mansion, they're always going to want something that somebody else has got.
You always want more.
No matter what stage you're at.
Moving home has taught me a lot, because it's like, although I would love to be in a nice fancy flat in Manchester with a full-time job at like BBC or whatever, BBC if you watch it, subscribe, message me. Like, as much as I'd love that right now, I know a lot, like, people's paths are different.
I was so set on moving out of Manchester for so long because I absolutely hated it. Everyone's different. Like, you want to move to Manchester.
Yeah, it's so weird
I
how
wanted
different
to move
we
out.
are.
I was like so depressed in Manchester. Like,
Yeah.
I absolutely hated it. I was like, I'm never going to move out. Like, my boyfriend was in a job that he didn't really like. I was in a job that I didn't really like. We wanted to progress. It was really hard. We were both in like stepping stone jobs, and all I wanted was to relocate. And I was so sad. But then I was kind of thinking like, oh my God, people are in much worse situations than me.
Yeah.
But you get there. I've just moved into like my dream home. Like, I'm going on holiday next week. It's happy. It's fine.
Yeah.
It works out.
I keep telling myself, stay in my lane, like, stay in
Yeah,
your own
yeah,
lane. 'Cause
your own.
I'm like, I see someone having the opportunity that I'd love to have, and I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous of them, but where's that jealousy going to get me? I just need to stay in my lane and just keep going.
22 is still young.
Exactly.
Very young.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I should be living the dream now, like everyone else is doing, but like, no.
It's not always that way.
It's not always that way, is it? That's literally all I've got for
that all?
postgrad, unless you've got anything to add. Yeah.
Basically, moral of the story is don't compare yourself to others. Trust your gut feeling. You're going to be fine. Everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. Basically, just the whole video rounded up. You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine.
You're going to be
Literally.
fine. You will be fine.
Those that have just started uni for the first time, like, you will be absolutely fine. It'll all work out. Just
It will.
have fun. Yeah. Hopefully that helps you guys who are starting
really
uni, or who are in the middle of uni and just needed something to almost like relate to, or like take advice from. I think
I hope you
we've
enjoyed
done a
our
good job.
yap, because we can do that.
We're very good yappers. So hopefully you got something to take away from this video. I can't believe we're finishing the video. I feel like it's gone really, really quick.
It has. It really has.
It really
It's
has.
starting as the car park.
Literally, it's gone pitch black now.
It is. We were like, we'll call it early.
Yeah.
And then
And now
it's
it's
actually
7:30
Is it
and
late
pitch black.
September now? It's definitely
Yeah.
going to be dark by.
It's winter now, guys.
Dark.
Oh, we should round this video up.
absolutely.
Like I said, hopefully you can take something away from this video, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. I'll also leave Kira's socials down below if you want to give them
you.
a little look and give her a little follow.
Thank you.
And yeah, I will see you next week for another video.
Bye. My car looks so long.
We're in a limousine, guys. Limousine. Why do they say it like
Because
that?
I'm rich enough for that. That'll do.
Is that even it? Oh.